Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and of course more Path of Exile. I am a brand new PoE player, I've been loving the experience so far, and I've actually come from Diablo 4, which was my first main ARPG. I'd heard about how much love there was for this game compared to the controversial state of Diablo 4 and knew I had to try it. So far I've been stunned by how much this game has to offer, and it's been incredible, but it wouldn't have been nearly as fun without the people in the comments of this series I'm doing as a new player, offering me useful and relevant advice while I've been learning. This game is pretty unfriendly to the beginner in terms of that beginner experience, and I guess that's because of the 10 years of bloat. As I've gone from act to act though, things have become clearer and clearer, and the many systems have not just become reasonable to understand, but really cool in what they offer. And I'm very interested now to see how it goes in Path of Exile 2. How are they going to make these systems easier to understand while still keeping that depth? In any case, today I am approaching Act 4 and beyond. I'm going to be unlocking my very first Ascendancy, trying out the Affliction lead mechanic properly, and as always, comparing things to Diablo 4. So with all that said, let's just get started. To kick us off today, I have something I'm a little bit confused as why I'm so excited for. Today, I'm going to be using my very first loot filter. So yes, great. I just wanted to come here, kill something, have some items on the ground, and see what happens when I turn this on. The way that you actually activate a loot filter in this game is surprisingly straightforward. I just went to the website, followed one of the filter options. I went for like the standard one. Apparently, I just need to come into the settings once I've done that and go to game, I believe. Yep, and then item filter, and I should have it. Never sync one regular softcore. So I just click that, save. With that, we should have the item filter going, which has, yes, the items that were on the ground, they're now gone. I guess because they're grays, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. But it looks like if I press Alt, I can still see the things that have dropped and just double check them. Oh, there we go. Oh man, look at that. They're so chunky. It's highlighted a flask in its own kind of white background. A superior quality weapon. We were just talking about that. It's shown me a superior weapon. That's plus 19 quality. So that's highlighted in red to show that that's relevant. We have this one in purple, maybe because the minion extra damage thing. And this one in green. Is that because of the slots? Either way, I guess I can trust this filter then to show me what is going to be relevant, and I'll consider them. I also like that I can see the slots and even the link order really clearly compared to the normal lack of filter version of the game. But to begin with, this feels so much better. But let's kick today's episode off with some proper gameplay now as I go into my very first Aspirants Plaza to do my first Ascendancy. We've got all 6 unlocked. I've never done this before. I don't really know how this works. But as I've entered, I do have a new auto sort of always travel here point. So it looks like I'm going to be coming back here at least multiple times, just like the menagerie or my hideout. So I got an activation device. Here we go. So level 33. So you come back here at 55, 68, 75. I don't know what I get when I do this, but it looks like I'm not going to get my full Ascendancy immediately. That makes sense. As far as I know, they're just kind of like a new skill tree. So maybe whenever I do this, I get more points to work with. Apparently, I'm already near the end, and there's a crafting recipe for all resistances rank 1. Awesome. And I actually have my stash here. I got a big creepy door that's letting me up some stairs. And we have a boss room. Okay, so this is my first trial boss. Looks like a big dude with a hammer and he's got a ghost of some sort. Let's see what we can learn about this fight. So he's got like a ghost above him that's firing these projectiles. We can see it kind of prepare to fire and then we can circle around it, sure. We have the Conduit of Storms, which has given me something, maybe? Has it given me anything? But he's spawning a bunch of ads and mobs here that I'm killing, and I'm killing them intentionally so that I can stack up Frenzy that we're going to talk about. Yeah, I feel like I've got crazy attack speed right now. Okay, those things come up and give me a buff. I should be grabbing them. The other one was like a fire one and I missed it. Oh, that was it. Okay, I did half his health and he ran away. But there's more to the trial itself. Oh, check that out, man. That's so good. The triple link, triple color so that, you know, I can get the chromatic orb trade. Even though it's a white with like absolutely nothing on it, it's still highlighting the item so that I make sure that I see it. That's so nice, man. I've been manually, carefully checking every item just to perceive if there's a triple color link. What a game changer. In one of those chests that I couldn't get to in the locked door, I found Sand of Eternity. The next idol you hit will no longer regenerate life. So I guess there's something special down here called idols that I gotta deal with. All right, next fight. Let's be better this time. I'm gonna buff up and start hitting quick, but we gotta pay attention to what these things on the side actually are. So let's put down the totem totem and start striking. Put some element resistance. We have a Flame Idol, the thing that I was attacking, right? So they're doing something. Cast Ice Beacon, Lightning Beacon when at full health, loses all life on cast. So I've got to keep these low health so that they don't cast whatever it is that they're trying to do. And it seems like we defeat the boss whenever he's at half health. That projectile thing is destroying me. He's doing a wind-up slam that I've got to step around. This idol's healing up, so let's put a bleed on that. That one's low. Oh, right. The effect that I've got from the item is keeping it low health. Also, there's these things over here. I'm going to grab the storm one, so that's going to be a buff, I assume. All right, cool. That worked pretty well. I didn't realize there was buffs over here. So grants extra lightning damage, shock damage. Wait, hang on. I'm giving power to the enemy. Maybe I'm not picking these up as a buff at all. Dude, it's so much to take in, like in the middle of a fight. Lots of like descriptions to read and perceive and understand. Here, look, another one. Labyrinth Trove. So this is definitely worth going and trying to open just to see what's inside. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have missed the other ones. So I've got to find some switches around the place and open this door somehow. So I've worked my way into this hot fire room with the floor that's on fire, and then also all these traps, and got to the actual trove, and within was in a bunch. Whoa, there's a load of stuff here. Okay, so it's definitely like reasonable stuff. I might find something that's useful, but it's not necessarily always something powerful. Oh, it looks like there's like a side passage I might have missed in the earlier one. Look, this route goes left to right, right? But then there's these paths that lead to these separate things. I've missed something here. Silver key, silver stash. Whoa. What the hell was that? As I killed that enemy, we just had like a sound occur, and this is orange. Is that my first legendary? Plus 20 strength and intelligence. Let's identify that then. A gate amulet. Holy, oh my god, what? The whole point of last episode was I was saying I need to get leech, like life on kill, lifesteal. So it sounds like I'm making the enemies stronger, but I am making myself stronger too at a higher rate. What's in the silver chest? I guess this is the whole point of the place. So we've got the silver key. We have to find the silver door. So instead of going to the aspirant's trial at the end, I'm going to try to find a different route to whatever that is, because that might be the silver door. Oh my god, okay, we did it. I did it almost without thinking, without realizing. We just came up to the door, I opened it, there was a chest, and I realized, oh, I've just used the silver key. Look at that. 2 glass blower baubles, 10 blacksmith whetstones, and 24 armorer's scraps. That's insane. I don't really have an excuse not to maximize the durability of something that I think's going to stay around then, if I've got that many of them. The baubles actually improve the quality of the flasks. Okay, I should maybe think about that. Oh look, there is some quality on these anyway. Either way, it's time for the third fight. So the conduits here, we can't seem to do anything with. We have a thing that's going to move on the floor. Looks like a bomb or something. And of course, the actual enemy itself. Let's put down the totem, the conduit here. Can I click on them? Can I attack them? No. Okay. We have a lot of ads that I want to clean up to get the buff. We're going to talk about frenzy later and those types of stacking buffs. Let's keep my totem up. Give myself some element resistance, movement speed to avoid his attacks. Try to stand on his side and behind him. He's doing a slam, so we don't want to be near him. It's nice that my build kind of has a little bit of range to it. You know, it's supposed to be a melee ranged build. It does give me a little bit of medium range to avoid direct attacks. But there you go. But now we come into the Ascendancy chamber. Here are the treasures that I guess I've got these 2 keys for. Oh, we've got 2 more keys, so let's just open some stuff. Okay, lots of stuff there, and a chaos orb. And last chest is a... Oh... Is that a second? That's so unlucky. A second, I think the legendaries, but it's also an amulet like the other one. Projectile speed, movement speed, projectile damage. I think this is a ranged kind of setup and isn't relevant to me. So there is that. What's the divine font though? Transform a skill gem to be random transfigured gem of the same color or add quality to a gem. Because it's going to give me a kind of a random like pile of options, I feel like I might regret that. Whereas I think 3% quality to the gems just get enhanced the power of what is my main damage ability. So I think that's what I want to do. But let me know if I messed up on this choice. So we've enhanced the quality of my gem. So we put that back. It's got the +3 quality. I assume it's slightly stronger now. Finally, we have the Altar of Ascendancy. There we go. I've seen little clips and trailers of this. So one of these is literally about bleed, which is definitely the one I would go for. I believe it's Gladiator. 2% more attack and movement speed per challenger charge. 25% chance to gain a challenger charge. Attack and movement speed, though, is really good. Attacks have a 50% chance to cause bleeding just straight up, and they'll maim bleeding enemies, maybe even blinding them. So I'm going to ascend. We've got the achievement. So now I'm looking at my skill tree, and we've got this new circle at its center that I can work with. I have 2 ascendancy points left, so I must get these by doing the trials. Personally, I was looking at Blood in the Eyes as the most interesting thing there. I looked at the guide that I talked about last time, and it says that I should go for Arena Challenger first, then Blood in the Eyes, then Gratuitous Violence, and then I end up on Painforge, this defensive one. So on the way there, I'll get 4% attack speed, move speed, which is very good, and I get these charges that give me more attack speed and move speed. So put that point there, put that point there, and then I guess I apply. Arena Challenger unlocked. Awesome. And the center of my actual thing is no longer the duelist. I am a gladiator now. Now, last time I was asking questions about resistances, health, armor, stuff like that, and we got a lot of comments about it. As it turns out, it works the same as Diablo, which is to say that Diablo 4 straight stole this system. They 1-for-1 ripped it. Apparently I need 75% in my main resistances, not worrying about chaos resistance until later. And as I go into harder acts, like apparently Act 5, this is the first one, you get like a -% on these resistances, so you actually want to overcap in prep for that, and it's going to happen multiple times during my progression. So yeah, Diablo 4, I've been praising that resistance system in Season 2, only to find that they literally took the exact system that PoE does. In any case, it was the Viper2176 who let me know in a comment that it's a good idea to overcap these by about 30 by the time I hit Act 5, because that's when I'm going to take that first negative. So I'm at my crafting bench, and I'm going to try to get element resistance on everything, as well as max life if I can get it on anything else. So with that, I've got some extra max life on a few items, and a little bit of extra resistance for specifically lightning, which I was lacking in. We're not at the 70% right now, but maybe I'll find a way as we get some more items. As we begin to actually progress Act 4 today then, I just want to highlight the final boss of Act 3 and how it was a bit confusing in hindsight. I felt like I didn't really appreciate the mechanics. It's a good sign because, yeah, my build's doing its job, right? But I did want to experience a cool fight, and I feel like I just missed what was neat about that. Commenter Lawler actually explained some of the fight to me in that episode, and apparently within that fight, the boss was doing this big wind-up I was missing or somewhat aware of, where he'd call out Light of Divinity and do this insane slam that probably would have devastated me if I actually got hit, but I was avoiding it because it would do this call out, and then there was this small yellow circle that shockwaved out from that point. So I was just kind of naturally moving around it and avoiding that, but it's important to know that call-outs of this nature, charge-up hits, are going to happen in other big boss fights, and I need to be able to perceive them and avoid them if I'm going to survive. According to Lawler as well, he was wearing these pretty unique-looking gloves, and yeah, sure enough, he was. And it turns out that's a real item you can find and use yourself, which would then provide the same slam attack used in that fight, which is really cool. The idea that the enemies are basically just like us, using unique items that we can steal in and use, it's just awesome. So thank you for that little hindsight look back, and hopefully in the next final boss, maybe of Act 4, I'll be aware of more things at once. So what's going on in Act 4? We're kind of just walking across this massive aqueduct that's in the air, and I'm feeling quick now. I got some movement speed on my items. I made some changes. I've got this new helmet, I've got this new chest piece, and it also means I'm actually using that legendary, right? Really cool environment that I'm moving through. But yeah, so far from my attacks, I've got like these buffs that are coming up, and I'm keeping a track of what they're actually doing. And there you go, Unholy Might. You deal extra chaos damage based on your physical. Now, chaos damage, to my understanding, goes through enemy shields, so it's pretty scary for me as well. And then also I'm getting attack speed, cast, and movement speed, which is where I was getting that little juiced movement from. So this is awesome for me, the attack speed specifically, and I guess the chaos damage is probably a pretty big deal too. I just don't know how it exactly works. But the scary part of this is that I might be actually enhancing the power of my enemies with these buffs too, and so it's obviously a trade-off. Maybe I'll get away with it since I'm doing the leveling. For now though, this is feeling like an incredible item to have found. Now, in terms of the build topic today, I did have some good advice in the comments across the board, but one great comment was from Balbazek the Grey, who explained that I need to remember that my bleed attack is based on physical damage, right? So if I have anything that has element damage on a weapon or whatever, it's really not relevant to me. And that's, for example, with the aura that I've got rid of. A lot of you talked about this. I believe it was Herald of Ash. I've now removed it. We're just using using Purity, but we are going to make some changes today because I have this kind of leftover mana and it's awkward. Also, things like accuracy rating and crit strike like this one, it's just not necessary for me anymore. Because I'm using Resolute Technique, I have like maximum accuracy as it turns out, but then obviously I can't do crit strike, so crit strike chance and damage not relevant to me. So I can kind of prune those types of damages and put like no value on them from here on. On that note, Bal actually referenced Bride, which we are using, but something called Vulnerability Curse, which I don't think I've found yet, so we'll have to keep our eye out for that. Also, another commenter explained how my new ability Blood Rage works, and I've been using it today saying that trial, and it's been amazing. So you can see I've got these 7 seconds of Blood Rage, and as I kill, it refreshes them, but it actually gives me some kind of charge. There it is, Frenzy. Frenzy actually gives me more damage and increased attack and cast speed. We care about the attack speed and the actual damage, so as I actually kill enemies and maintain the buff as long as possible, I'm giving myself a chance to get a frenzy charge. Now, my understanding with charges is the max cap is 3 of them. So see, I've got 3 frenzy charges there. So now I'm getting the most attack speed possible I can get from that mechanic. The downside, of course, is the Blood Rage, is that it's dealing damage to me over time. Hello, boss! The 100-foot shadow, and I am absolutely devastating it with the attack speed I've got from both Blood Rage and the frenzy. I guess the challenger charges from my actual ascendancies happen too now, right? And then there's my legendary effect where I'm getting this, sorry, what's it called again? Onslaught and Unholy Might. This feels pretty incredible. I feel like I've hit some sort of crazy power spike, and it's only going to get better today because according to the guide that I'm following, there's a couple of really important for Lacerate support skills that I'll get at some point during Act 4. Because Blood Rage is actually dealing damage to me over time though, it's been something that I've been actively thinking about. I worked out, originally when I saw that, oh, I'm going to need Lifesteal then, which we haven't really been able to find much of, but I have found regenerates life per second on armor. So I've got it on my chest, I've got it on my helm, I've even got it on my shield. So I'm actually getting a lot of health per second back. So as I've got Blood Rage on, I think I'm kind of out healing it at this point. Or at very least, I'm massively mitigating how much damage it's dealing to me in a relevant way in combat. So I'm feeling like I've overcome that. Oh, and we've made it to our next hub for Act 4, and this is a very cool looking place. But first, it's time for us to finally enter the Wildwood and really talk about what's going on there. Because according to many of you, I can actually skip this happily until late game. But it turns out there's a few things worth doing down there. I can pick from like a actual Ascendancy. There's this own skill tree that's down here. The wisps that I've been finding, these different colors, yellow, blue, I think there's purple. They power the enemies, but not the enemies down here. Once I leave, it kind of spreads the wisps that I've collected and juices up the enemies, causing them to drop higher quality items more often, better currency, stuff like that. These are the things that have been explained to me in the comments by like quite a lot of comments. So the idea is that I want to follow these lights to juice up the enemies that are on the outside, and then they'll have better drops and so on. Though I am making things harder for myself outside because the juiced up enemies, sure, they're worth more, but they're also way more deadly and dangerous. To get the Ascendancies though, apparently I have to follow these lights to the end of the path, which might take me to an NPC, which could be a vendor, and where I could actually get my Ascendancy going. What's interesting about the Wildwood Ascendancies though, is that according to most of you, there's one that I should be considering, at least during leveling, and that is specifically one that allows me to get extra movement speed, element resistances, which is really important, or even max life. The downside of these things, as good as those things are, is the fact that I'm gonna need to give up some slots. I think one of them specifically, you need boots, but have nothing in the sockets. And then you get like, I don't know, element resistance, so that's probably the movement speed one, that kind of thing. So it is a trade-off, but since I'm not actually filling all these slots, as you can see, there's quite a few empty. It's definitely something I could do. But the question for me is, can I respec the Ascendancy later? Let's say I get this one that's good for leveling. Maybe there's one that's better at the end game. Would I not be trapped or stuck to that Ascendancy? Would I not regret doing that? At very least, I'm going to pop in and out of them today, and hopefully I'll find an NPC to see that. But I did just go into one and actually come out and empower the enemies here, so we're starting to see some currency drops. I believe they're called something empowered, like Vivid Empowered when I hover over them, and they have the kind of wisps around them. There you go, there's one, Vivid Empower, this yellow one. So let's see if this guy drops a currency when I kill him. He should be stronger than normal. Yeah, it's quite tanky, look at that. And when I kill him, he gives me a Scroll of Wisdom. So yellow must be the currency one. It's really cool how you go into the event and it actually affects the outside world, changes what's normal, but you can choose not to change anything and avoid it if you don't want to deal with it. Oh man, I'm really happy to say how strong strong the build's feeling now. I'm actually using Sand Stance for the first time in ages because the mobs are dying that quick that I'm able to sort of spread out the hits. The more I kill, there's a more chance I get that buff, right? And then whenever I come across a stronger single target enemy like this, I go back to blood because of course I need to get the stacking bleed. So it's just feeling really good, and it feels like I actually have some choices. Oh, we've got an actual strong guy here, Vol. He just did some sort of channel charge. He did a channel slam. Look at that. So he's I'm actually paying attention. I can see it now. That's a good feeling. So he's like raising his mace into the air, and I'm walking behind him so that we avoid that slam. Great tip about the Act 3 final boss. That is really helping me. With that banner we got from the boss, I can open the seal and actually go into the mines level 1. Into the mines we go though. I'm actually going to blast through here. But as we go, I will be popping into Wildwoods and hopefully finding one of those vendors. We'll see. I'll let you know. I did find this insanely strong elite though. Extra physical damage aura for him, I guess, not me. Consecrated ground, extra damage to injured foes. It's wild empowered. Look how much I'm hitting it and doing absolutely nothing to it. It's pretty scary. Fortunately, I have my totem to put down and also my kind of sentries I'm spawning by killing enemies, which completely distracted it. So I actually had a really easy time with that. Did I just get a legendary helmet? Element resistances are 0, but better global defensives. Reflects lightning damage. Reduced light radius. This sounds terrible. Am I confused? Why is this an item? Why is this ever good? One thing I've been leveling up next is this aura effect. Increasing the range of my auras, right? But then I just got Champion of the Cause, which actually helps my efficiency reservation of skills, so I might be able to get stronger auras and stack up more of them than otherwise. So that sounds awesome. But let's go into the next wood and see if I can find an NPC. I just found a superior blood rage. It's literally blood rage but with plus 10 quality. You know how I did the thing earlier and upgraded mine to plus 3 on lacerate? This is 3 times that plus 1. So my blood rage gives me 5% attack speed. This gives me 7%. What an incredibly relevant find. I found one. Let's go. The Primal Huntress. I found loads of the purple wisp specifically, and it eventually led me to her. My understanding is that I have to do some sort of quest line with them though. Okay, so I can purchase items for wisps, which I don't have any of those. We can choose our Wildwood. There you go. I believe it's this one, the Magi that they were telling me about. But I can't pick that one up because I haven't actually found that one. I'm only talking to the Huntress, I guess, so she can only offer me this. This benefits war cries. Okay, so I don't want to upgrade this one. I guess I'm supposed to find a trail and follow that for the relevant one. So I got to find the Warden of Eves. Okay, well, at least I know that now. Well, this is just lovely. Island of the Dead, literally like hell I'm wandering through. And lots of fire monsters, so how's my actual fire resistance right now? We got 53%, so we're still lacking about 15%, at least for the current content, even though I'm not actually at, say, 75% in everything. When I'm activating my potion, I am overcapping really hard. This flask that's giving me, what is it, 35% to all element resistances. As long as I've got that running, I am completely fine. My first legendary weapon just dropped, I'm pretty sure, this Warhammer, but it's a hammer instead of an axe. 45% increased attack speed. The critical strike chance is irrelevant, then some resistances. It looks really cool, the glowing hammer, though. That's so cool. Oh, but lacerate doesn't work with hammers. That's so sad. It looks so cool. Damn. Looks like I'm finally at the end of this fire stronghold though, and we have the king. Okay, let's see what he's like as a fight. We've got lots of fire on the ground, sending lines. He's doing a slam jump. Looks like every attack that he does sends a line in front of him. Also, I want to stand on one side of the arena because the fire's coming from the south side, so we'll stay up here. He's spawning in ads. Okay, so he's changing where the fire's coming from. It's on the east side now, so we'll just keep moving around. Let's keep the movement speed going. Can definitely see why having a bit extra range compared to what I do have right now would come in handy, because I could stand in the safe zone and still DPS happily. I've got to pull him towards where there isn't the fire. So it's on the right and left there, and I go to the top, and there you go. Done and done. The King of Swords. Holy shit. Okay, he can teleport. He's stabbing ahead of him. Sure, we'll stand behind him. There's dancing swords around the room, which don't seem to be doing anything. He's dashing in front of him. He's cleaving in front of him as well. We have a channel here. Don't know what he's about to do. He does this little channel before he stabs forward occasionally, but I don't know what it is he's doing when he's crouching like that. But the totem is absolutely clutch as always for distracting a boss like this, so I can just spam him in the back. With those two areas clear though, I should be able to actually give her the second item and progress again. She's created this kind of battering ram. Holy shit, look at that. Oh, she's mining through this purple crystal that was walling us, and she's created a door for us. The belly of the beast. Okay, that was an accurate description. I thought it was going into like a purple crystal cave. This is much grosser. And here we are in the bowels of the beast, and Pieti's back again. Isn't this that lady that kept harassing me? And I defeated her in the last act, but she's back again. So she's now an abomination. Someone revived her and turned her into this horrible monster within the giant beast that I'm hunting underground for some reason. Okay, we're gonna walk around that now. Stop spinning! Stop spinning! I'm just going to keep my bleed stacks on it. Oh my god, please stop spinning. She's not so bad. She seems to have this kind of one main mechanic where she does the laser beam and we just kind of circle around it. But I am occasionally being lazy and standing still and losing like 90% of my health. So I still think I need a bigger health pool. Oh, I saved her. Why would I do that? Supports your melee attack skills, making them repeat twice, targeting a random enemy. The guide says that as soon as you can get this, it must go into your slot. So that's a problem because I don't have a fourth slot with red. What we need is 1 green, 3 red at this point. So I think I'm going to take my boots and re-roll them, or maybe I'll do the chest piece actually, since that's one that I'll probably stick around and that can get more slots. 13 re-rolls though. It's not a lot. That is it. Okay, now we need the links, and I only have 2 reforge of the links. Please link it. Well, that wasn't ideal. It took away a link and now I've got this. Those are pretty hard to get your hands on, it would seem. I only had 2. I'm going to try it with removing the chance to bleed support and see how multi-strike feels and how much I notice it.
Have you found those juicy organs for me yet?
Do you have to say it like that? She was just explaining to me that, you know, she doesn't regret what she's done. She's trying to make humanity stronger, but she regrets the way she's been going about it, which is, yeah, I mean, this is nightmarish. Definitely makes me feel bad for not paying any attention to the story so far. I've just not really enjoyed the telling of it or like the format of it. We got a boss here though that's based about lightning, obviously. She's teleporting and doing these explosions of lightning around her and also creating these books that seem to be blowing up in lightning. Yeah, so I've got to stay away from them. There we go. Easy peasy. That's the first one. We got our first organ. Next up, we have the Inquisitor. Let's go back onto bleed mode. Give myself the buff, put the thumb down, absolutely smash him. This dude's doing purple damage? Don't know what element that is. I'm wondering whether that's chaos. He's kind of laying down these mines and also spreading the corruption on the ground, which seems to be moving, taking up the arena. So I'm kind of being forced to fight in a smaller area, but it looks like I've got it under control with enough DPS. Nice. And then the third and final one, which is this blobby person. Okay, we got circles on the ground, different colors. I think it's triggering them in some way. And I'm getting absolutely smashed by something that I don't perceive. Oh my god, I'm getting destroyed. I'm bleeding, so if I move, I'm going to take a lot of damage. So I guess I've just got to stand here. Holy hell, that was close. I definitely didn't do the mechanic there. Yet again, that's a kind of situation with the buffs of this game and the way that they show them in the UI. I've got to kind of stop and look all the way up here, find the buff, hover over it, read it. Meanwhile, a boss is just destroying me. I find it so hard to like understand these things mid-fight.
So that this world might be bathed in glory.
Yeah, he looks about what I expected. Buffed up, got my bleed. Looks like she's helping me fight. Cool. Got the totem down. He's channeling some sort of tendril thing that comes out the front of him. Put some element resistance on. Try not to waste my heals. Big slam. Yes, I saw that. He raised his sort of mace for a second. She's turned crazy and she's calling for me to kill her. So I'm going to put my totem down and do as she requests. Let's dodge these. Looks like he's immune to damage. He's got like a shield on him while this is going on. So if I take her down, maybe that'll change it. Yep, she's back. Ah, she's removing the actual... She's removing the shield, so while she's relevant, we can actually DPS him. Bringing in some ads to keep me buffed up, which is nice. He's doing a slam. We walk out of the way of that. The visual effect stays, but I'm not sure whether I'm fine to walk back into the red circle once it's already slammed. And there's these red circles appearing below me that I've got to move before they activate. He's doing a big slam. Oh, she's been impaled. How am I going to kill him now? Can you still help? It's going well, but now I'm on my own. Totem down. Let's give myself some element resistance. Oh, that's a channel. I need to not stand in front of that. I don't think I want to walk on this, but we do have some ads that I can kill to hopefully give me some frenzy. We got red circles on the ground, which I probably don't want to stand on. Let's keep the totem down. next to him on one side so I can stand behind him. And now his shield's back. So what am I going to do about that? We have these hearts on the side. Maybe if I kill them. That one's down. Yes, that got rid of his shield. So we just have to take one of those down whenever his shield's up. I just feel so pressured. There's a really tiny spot and I'm not really doing what feels like that much DPS to him right now. I'm kind of running low on the potions. Mechanically, he seems to be a lot simpler at this point. There's just so much pressure with the projectiles in the small area. But he's getting pretty low now. He's getting really low. We're just behind him while he's doing that. And there's these circles on the ground that are chasing me. We bled out the last heart. He's in his last phase. Let's get out of the way of those tendrils. Let's just tank him and heal up. And we got him, we got him, we got him, we got him. Let's go. Oh, and I've got the other gem that we've been looking for in Act 4, Brutality. I must have unlocked it when I either just did that mission or during, I didn't realize. So this works on Lacerate, and it's the other one they say you need as soon as possible. Supported skills deal 25% more physical damage. They'll deal no chaos damage or element damage, but we don't care, right? We're not doing that. We're doing bleed. So honestly, I'm going to say that's even more important than the multi-strike, but I want both of them. Life tap's also vital because I don't have mana to work with, so I can't take that out either. So I'm going to need 5 slots here, minimum 4 as soon as possible. How am I going to achieve that? It just feels so random. Maybe in the later acts I've got more of a chance. And with that, we have a new area, the Ascent. We're climbing an icy mountain. What is this? Activate the resonator. Looks like a telescope, like a big observatory style thing. But it's opened a portal, which is taking me to the slave pens. I'm not sure I should have come here. That's a pretty cool entrance. But that is Act 5. I think this is the same area as the Act 3 area. It looks, you know, similar. They've got a Colosseum and stuff. But there's the waypoint, the slave pens. This brings us to the end of my Act 4 video though. Some seasonal stuff, big build changes. Man, I am really struggling with the slots. I really need a 4th slot. How am I going to get the slots that I need while linked? I'm really close on multiple items, but just that little bit too far away. Overall though, Act 4 was really cool. Probably the coolest act I've played so far. And even though I don't necessarily need to, I think I will keep dabbling in the season stuff. Maybe just to unlock that Ascendancy and give it a try. But for now, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please do drop a like on it. It makes it possible to keep making this series. But thanks so much for all the support and the help so far. At this point, I'm certain I'm going to finish at least the campaign and see what the endgame's like. Until next time then, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.